It's in Stranger Things. Onward is based on it. Vin Diesel, Joe Manganiello and Chris Pratt all play it. What am I talking about? Dungeons and Dragons, of course. It looks a bit complicated to play, but I promise you it's not. Especially 5th edition, which is what I want to talk to you about and how to make a character today. Let's get a roll on, shall we? Let's cover the basics of what you'll need first. These are your best friends in the world. A rubber, which will be used a lot more than what it should be, but trust me, it's used all the time. And a pencil. I've got 2 different pencils here, a mechanical pencil and just an ordinary pencil. Whichever, it's up to you. And you'll need a notebook. And a pen to write in that notebook. You can use your pencil, it's entirely up to you. But the notebook is very useful for keeping notes on your character, reminding you of things, and when you eventually play, keeping track of what's going on. Oh my god, the amount of times that I've forgotten to do that. Everything else can kind of be replaced with a gadget like a tablet, which mine's currently dead and not charged, so I should probably do that before our next play. Or a phone, if you've got a phone. There are so many apps out there to be able to play this game. There's apps for character sheets, which is another thing that you'll need. Surprise, surprise. This is a Wizards of the Coast official Dungeons and Dragons one. You don't have to go with this. I'll put some links in the description to other ones that you can use, which are all super duper useful and that I personally like. Because this one can be a little bit difficult to work your way around. Or if you don't have a printer, you could always, like I said, use an app or copy it down in a way that you find easy to read and that you can follow a lot easier. The next thing you'll need is dice. It's a poly set. Poly set is many dice with many sides. I'll name them all now, starting with the smallest, which is a little pyramid shaped one, which is a 4-sided dice, also known as a D4. It has numbers from 1 to 4 on it. The next one, the most common dice that I guarantee everyone has a board game with one of these in, at least one of these in, and it's called a D6 or a 6-sided die with, you guessed it, numbers 1 to 6 on it. The next one, and these next ones are a lot less common. The D4 you can probably find, you can even use a spinner for. Everything else, kind of eat the dice for, or dice app. This is a D8 or an 8-sided dice with the numbers 1 to 8 on it. Surprise, surprise! Now the next one is a pair of dice. They are both 10-sided die or a D10, or you can use them as a pair to roll a D100 or a 100-sided dice. I find this easier because you can get a 100-sided dice, but that thing just tends to roll for ages and is like an actual ball. Whereas this has 2, you have numbers 0 to 9 on one of them, and then on the other, 00 to, where's it gone? 00 to 90 on the other. Rolling them together will get a number out of 100. Rolling one of them will get you a number from 1 to 10. It's as simple as that. Then you have a D12 or a 12-sided die. It has numbers from, and you guessed it, 1 to 12. The next is the one that you will use the most out of any of the dice. It's a 20-sided dice with numbers 1 to 20 on it. It looks like the dice. And then the last but not least thing is the player's handbook. Now, if you don't have a player's handbook, I will link in the description to a website which is super duper useful. It's called D&D Beyond. They have everything in the base core rulebook, which is what this is, that will help you make a character. There's also, as I've said apps out there that will help you get into this. If you can, I will put a link into the description as well on where to get this. Yes. Everywhere has it, I just guarantee you've never seen it before. This is super useful because it has on the inside like how to make a character, which is what I'm going to talk about today. So now that that's out of the way, let's just get on with making a character. The first thing you want to decide is what race you want to play. There are 9 different base races. Now I'd advise sticking with these for now, just because trying to look for other races can get a little confusing. There are examples of these and what they look like in Lord of the Rings. You've got Legolas, who is an elf, Gimli, a dwarf, and then you've got the 2 hobbits, Frodo and Bilbo, of course. And while they're not called hobbits in Dungeons and Dragons, they are halflings and they are exactly the same. With your race, it gives you 5 different things to look at. Ability scores, which we'll look at later. Alignment, which is whether or not you're good or bad and kind of reflects how you want to play your character. The third one comes in 2 parts. First, the size, so how tall you are, how wide you are, that sort of thing. You can play a horse race, so you need to think about how long you are. But this comes to the second part of the third one, which is also speed. Your size can also decide how fast you are. It's not always the case. You can have racial traits, which is another thing, traits that speed you up. Also, you can be lucky in one of your traits and re-roll dice that you fail on. Or you can be able to see in the dark. It's really cool, to be honest. And number 5 is languages. More often than not, if you play an elf, for instance, like Legolas, you will speak 2 main languages to start with. You will have Common, which is what everyone speaks, almost everyone, and Elvish, which is what the elves speak. The second thing you want to look at and decide when making a character is your class. Now your class is like your job almost. There are 12 base classes in Dungeons and Dragons. Some of them like Bard, Barbarian, a Wizard, Sorcerer, a Rogue, so many more you can choose from. And with these classes they give you 4 things to look at. First thing is your hit points. How many hits you can take before you're passed out on the floor and can't do anything. This can be added to with your ability scores, but again, we'll look at them in a second. The second thing is proficiencies. These are the weapons and armour that you can use, and you'll really want to be able to look at these because your weapons decide sort of like how hard you can hit something for, and your armour can decide how many hits you can take, so it also adds on to your hit points in a way. Your class also gives you a couple of bits of equipment, so it gives you your starting weapon, it gives you your starting armour, and maybe a couple of other bits, like if you're a bard it'll give you an instrument as well. And then the last thing is some skills. It'll give you some base skills that can be added to later. So for instance, if you were playing a rogue, for instance, so you're playing someone sneaky, you might have something which you'll find here, which is the skill section. You might want to get stealth or sleight of hand. You can also have deception, perception, and many others. My favourite skill, and the one that I think is most important, is perception, because it's what you perceive and what you can see around you, essentially. The third thing is the thing that I've mentioned a couple of times already, the ability scores. Now there's many different ways of deciding your ability scores, and the ability scores are always down this side, unless you have a different character sheet. But these are your ability scores. There's 6 abilities. You have strength, which is how strong you are, dexterity, how quick and nimble you are, constitution, this adds to your hit points. So it decides, like constitution is like how much you can take as hits, essentially. Intelligence, this is like book smarts. And then you have wisdom, which is street smarts, essentially, boiled down. And charisma, how awesome and good looking you are. Your ability scores can be determined by several different things. Your GM can give you them. The GM is a game master, or you could also call them a dungeon master. Depends how you want to refer to them. They can decide what scores to give you or how you are going to do your scores. You also have a set score from the books. These set scores are 15, 14, 13, 12, 10 and 8. And there's also like many different ways of rolling dice to determine your scores. Now, your scores go in here, like I said before. Now, there's two different boxes. There's a box and a bubble. Now, you can decide which way around you want to put this, but like the big number, so let's say 15, is just a reflection on what plus you get. Now, this plus is, it adds to your dice rolls essentially and what scores you do get in the game. A 15 would give you, now to work this out very simply, is you take 10 and divide by 2 and you take the lower part of the number. So 15 take 10 is 5, divide it by 2 gives you 2.5, so it would give you a plus 2. Whereas 16 will give you a plus 3. So on and so forth. Quite easy, to be honest. Lastly, fourth thing you'll want to look at is the backgrounds. Now, the book has loads of them, and you'll find them on D&D Beyond as well, and I'm sure you'll find them out there on apps and other things. And these add 5 more things to your character. They add to your alignment. So again, like your race goes with your alignment, so does your background. So languages. So while your race gives you languages, your background also gives you languages. These can be added to with your intelligence score. So if you have a high intelligence score, so say your intelligence is a 15, so you have a plus 2. You can add 2 more languages to what you already know. Your alignment, your background might give you some more, but you can also add more. Pretty cool. Skills. So like your class gives you your base skills, your background gives you even more skills to fluff out your character and to be as skillful as you possibly can. So you might be sneaky, but you also might be really good at handling animals. So you can pet them and get them to come along with you and do your bidding for you. Why not? It also adds on some equipment. With this, you often get your money, and some backgrounds give you special items like rings or what's known as a mount, so a horse or a cart. I don't know, it's up to you what you choose. And then the last thing that the backgrounds are useful for is adding personality to them. So what makes them tick? Are they, have they set off? Are they an adventurer that wants to go out and find adventure and prove themselves to be a hero? Or have they been cast out by the family because they're absolutely useless? Or are they an ex-soldier? Or are they a soldier full stop? It's entirely up to you what you decide. The last thing that is incredibly optional is this bit on the very back of the character sheet. Just here. It's the second page of the sheet really, and it is the age, the height, the weight, the eyes, the skin and the hair colour. So what your character looks like. So are you a fair-skinned, blue-eyed, blonde-haired elf that's 6 foot and as thin as a stick? Or are you stocky, short dwarf that's 5 foot tall, frizzy brown hair with brown eyes, and sort of like dirty matted skin because you work in the, you know, the mines. Who knows? It's entirely up to you what character you want to make. So that's it for me talking through how to make a character. I'll make a second video on me making a character. I'll possibly do that with my boyfriend so that we can talk about it together. And I hope people out there that have never even thought about playing Dungeons and Dragons before are actually thinking about it, because you can play it online. There's tons of websites out there. My favourite is Roll20, and we use Zoom, Skype and whatever to communicate through it. Roll20 even has like its own voice chat thing, and you don't even need dice for that or a character sheet because it's all on there. This video was not sponsored by anyone that I've mentioned. I just thought I'd talk you through how to make a character sheet. I really hope you go out and try it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye for now.